persistence, precision, and a lesson in the volumes spoken by silence. Hi, Six Snipes, and boy is it hard to come up with intros sometimes.
Seriously guys, I'm running out of things to say.
Today, for a change, we're talking about a gun I actually love a lot, but haven't used enough either. An interesting gun for sure, and a valid contribution to a meta of already diverse and effective picks. Still, this little guy has managed to cut its own little niche, and I like it for that. I'm Six Snipes. Today, this is the Honey Badger, and you're all watching Gun Guide. The Honey Badger, best known and probably only in this and any other game because of its notable inclusion in some Call of Duty, is, in a word, cool. Looks cool. Sounds cool. Cool name. Cool skin. Cool update too. I'll tell you, nothing makes me feel more tactical than this gun. It's about as fun as you'd expect and entirely as dangerous as the animal I'm assuming it's named after.
Nom nom nom.
As for the real-life equivalent, nobody cares. I know nothing off the top of my head about this gun, but I'm assuming it's an AR platform taking a different round, which is subsonic in nature and highly similar to that of the AS Val. I had to go into the game and look it up. It shoots 300 AC blackout, which for a second I thought that's what the Scar runs, but it's the 7.62 model. Sorry, caught kiddos. At 857 rounds per minute, it fires almost exactly 100 less than the MP7, but does way more damage, so it's a pretty good deal. It doesn't sound like it, but up close these rounds punch quite a bit. If I had to guess, I'd place it somewhere between a 45 and a 5.56. I know that there's actual damage charts and stuff, but I feel like that's increasingly less relevant given the nature of Insurgency as a whole. Guns either work for someone or they don't, and the feel comes across way clearer than the number of body hits to take to kill a heavy armor or whatever. This thing kills fast, just like any other gun,
Except for some.
and that's sort of what matters. The actual details are more aligned with stuff like, say, capacity. A drawback of this gun, actually one of the only ones, thankfully, it's a base 30 round magazine, but it offers no substitute upgrade. You're stuck with what you get. A few more cons are the sometimes laughable range. However, I will say it's a lot better than some other breacher weapons. In fact, it may have some of the best, seeing as it doesn't fire pistol caliber, but put it next to, say, an AK, and it's a joke. I will also add that penetration is additionally laughable, but that's no different than just about all the other breacher guns to date, so that's nothing really to be surprised about. The price is a lot too, coming in at the same tag as the M4A1. The MP7 may be cheaper on the surface, but needed upgrades are minimum here, so picking this ends up sort of saving you money in the long run versus the MP7. We all know it's more expensive. And to put all those aside, you've got here something which will win you your ones. I think that's the very important part about this gun too. Close, refined, controlled scenarios are where you excel. This gun simply slaps at short distances. The magazine capacity means you're better suited to limit your encounters and not just go in guns blazing, though if you must, as always, the flashbang is an essential addition to your kit, just because of how effectively they pair together. Blind 'em and bag 'em, as you do. Now, much like the AS Val, this is a super quiet gun. I always invest in a suppressor just because of how effective it is. The addition is done mostly within the frame of the actual piece too, so you don't end up with a giant tube hanging out and obstructing your spatial frame. Other options for the muzzle are the generic flash hider and compensator. On that note, you can use a compensator, and you can use a foregrip. It just makes you a wimp. Flash hider is fine, but the suppressor is just the best option here. Given its excessive effectiveness and low profile, it's a steal. Optics are mostly up to you, but you don't need anything past a 2x. No custom options here like with the Val either. You get what's readily available. I like the holographic personally, or the Cobra if available. As for the new amazing addition of grips, I prefer the reload option. The aiming and recoil counterparts seem just a tad too expensive for something that doesn't really need them, however I could see a quick draw grip being handy with such low capacity. After all, switching back and forth between something like the Glock may just become commonplace for you. Raw performance is clean. The rate of fire isn't anything too extraordinary. Having used the MP7 excessively, I can control the ammo economy of this one quite well. However, if you're more geared towards things like the AK platform, this can be a challenge. Overall, I think with a little practice, however, using the other platforms, this gun is very accessible and highly user-friendly. I can say confidently that the gun gains a significant performance boost when paired with the featured DLC ghillie suit. I know it's BS, but it turns you into an effectively unstoppable pop culture icon. Who?
John C.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now.
It It's 2020, why am I still making this joke?
Neither the auto or semi-auto are a pain to use, and they both have their very unclear place. So will you using this gun. You're no rifleman, but you're suited towards a much more close-quarter centric playstyle. Crisp, clean, no room for error, but a gun that's fit to compensate for plenty. That's just about all I have to say about this gun. I know some of these have been running a lot longer as of late. However, I have more and less things to say depending on the topic. There's not much to the Honey Badger really. If you've picked up any generic rifle ever, you've kind of gotten a good grasp on this one. I will say I like it quite a bit. It's definitely got a place in my loadouts for a niche CQB pick which can handle itself and flex that precision burst firing and staggering silent report. I can't help but smile like an idiot using this thing, and I hope you'll have the same experience using it as well. I know that per the Reddit post, the next most upvoted video would be on the MP5 series instead. However, I just thought it was too convenient to cover both the Nightfall's flagship firearms in one concise follow-up. The margin wasn't that big either. Finale for Gun Guide Season 2 coming next week. Until then, I'm Six Snipes, this has been the Honey Badger, and you've been watching Gun Guide. I'll see you out there.